The courtroom is a place of order, where every rule must be followed. But what if someone bends those rules for their own gain? What if justice is being manipulated behind the scenes? Today, this trial would not just be about seeking the truth, it would become a battle for survival.
Before we begin, let's confirm that all jurors are present. Court clerk, please conduct the roll call.
Your Honor, juror number 13 is not here.
The courtroom fell into silence. Every juror was supposed to be present, but one of them had disappeared. Was this a simple mistake, or was someone hiding something?
Your Honor, how does a juror just not show up? He was here yesterday.
Maybe they're sick, or maybe they've vanished.
Olivia's words swept through the courtroom like a cold wind. Vanished? Why would a juror disappear? And more importantly, did it have anything to do with this case?
Court clerk, send a team to juror number 13's residence. This trial is adjourned for 1 hour. If something is wrong, we need to know.
A juror's disappearance is never just an accident. Jurors are the foundation of justice. Without them, the legal system crumbles. But sometimes, there are those who don't want justice to be served. And this time, it seemed like someone was determined to silence juror number 13.
This is not good. Juror number 13 is missing from their home. Their phone was left on the table. The door was unlocked, but there's no sign of them inside.
The silence in the courtroom deepened, morphing into an eerie sense of fear. People exchanged uneasy glances. If the juror had truly vanished, did that mean something had happened to them?
Is this a disappearance or a warning?
Quite the coincidence, isn't it? Juror number 13 was about to deliver a major decision, and now they're gone. Are we really going to call this an accident?
Jurors are the backbone of this court. The disappearance of a juror is a matter of grave concern. Detective Hayes, I want a full-scale investigation launched immediately.
We have a few leads. There's no sign of forced entry. Their phone was left unlocked, but there are no messages. This could very well be an abduction.
As the detective's words sank in, murmurs spread through the courtroom. If this was a kidnapping, who was behind it? And more importantly, why?
We know the defendant has people working for him outside this courtroom. If the missing juror knew something crucial, then someone in this very room may have wanted them silenced.
The prosecutor's words hit like a bomb. The jurors exchanged nervous glances, but one of them remained completely still. Juror number 6.
Juror number 6, why so quiet?
I don't know anything.
But she did. The expression on her face said it all. And at that moment, everyone in the courtroom realized, if juror number 13 had truly been taken, who would be next?
This disappearance is no coincidence. What if juror number 13 was the only witness to the truth? What if we've been going after the wrong person all along?
If someone is being silenced, maybe the one pulling the strings is you, Mr. Carter. We know you'd do anything to sway this jury in your favor.
The tension in the courtroom escalated rapidly. Even the judge seemed to grasp the gravity of what was unfolding. But there was still one person who knew more than anyone else. Someone who had seen everything.
I saw them. Before juror number 13 disappeared, they were talking to someone in this very courtroom.
Who were they speaking to, Miss Roberts? Tell us.
With them.
And in that instant, the first spark of truth ignited in the courtroom. The courtroom was supposed to be a place where justice prevailed. But today, a dark shadow loomed over it. The disappearance of juror number 13 was just the beginning. Now, the only question on everyone's mind was, who would be next?
There's a game being played in this courtroom. If someone is trying to silence the jurors, it can only mean one thing. The truth is about to come out.
Or maybe, the truth is something you don't want to see, Mr. Carter.
Her words lingered in the air like an unspoken accusation. The courtroom was filled with uneasy glances. No one knew exactly what was happening, but one thing was clear. Someone wanted to bury the truth, and they were willing to do anything to keep it hidden.
We cannot proceed with this trial until all jurors are present. Detective Hayes, find the missing juror. Until then, this court is adjourned.
But even the judge's decision did little to calm the rising tension. The jurors exchanged nervous glances, and one of them in particular, juror number 6, looked especially uneasy.
Juror number 6, why do you look so nervous?
I just think this is all very serious.
But Carter wasn't buying it. The fear on her face wasn't just concern. It was the look of someone who knew more than they were saying.
Juror number 6, you admitted to speaking with juror number 13 yesterday. Is that true?
Yes, but it's not important.
Of course it's important. What did the two of you talk about?
All eyes were now on juror number 6. She felt exposed, as if she were the most dangerous person in the room, because the information she held could very well be a death sentence.
He told me something, but I didn't take it seriously. He was just speculating.
What did he say?
Something about the defendant, that he might actually be innocent.
The courtroom fell into complete silence. If juror number 13 had believed the defendant was innocent, then who had wanted him silenced?
So, juror number 13 suspected that something about this case wasn't right, and now he's missing.
I want a team to continue searching for juror number 13. Also, put all jurors under protection. No one can be trusted at this point.
His words sent a chill through the room. This was no longer just a courtroom trial. Someone was willing to go to extreme lengths to keep the truth from surfacing. But was someone also willing to risk everything to uncover it?
Your Honor, this is more than jury manipulation. This is a direct threat. If we find juror number 13, we'll find the answers we need.
This court is officially adjourned until further notice. Detective Hayes, increase security measures immediately. No juror should be left unprotected.
But what no one in that courtroom realized was, someone sitting among them already knew exactly where juror number 13 was, because the person responsible for his disappearance was in that very room. Justice may be delayed, but when it arrives, even the deepest buried secrets come to light. Today, one name was about to echo through the courtroom, not just as the key to a murder case, but as the thread unraveling an entire conspiracy. And that name was about to change everything. The courtroom doors suddenly swing open. Detective Marcus Hayes strides in, accompanied by juror number 13, exhausted, disheveled, and visibly shaken. The air in the courtroom turned heavy. The juror who had mysteriously vanished just hours ago had now returned. But the fear in his eyes made one thing clear. This wasn't over yet.
They tried to silence me, but the truth must come out.
What do you mean they tried to silence you? Mr. Mitchell, what exactly happened to you?
Someone warned me, told me not to say anything about this case, but I refused to listen, and that's why they took me.
A wave of murmurs rippled through the courtroom. If juror number 13 had been silenced, it could only mean one thing. He knew something critical about the case, something that someone was willing to do anything to keep buried.
Who, Mr. Mitchell? Who took you?
Your Honor, while we sympathize with the ordeal Mr. Mitchell has endured, we cannot accept these claims without evidence. Did he truly vanish against his will, or was this a decision of his own? Before we make...
I did not run. I was taken, and the person responsible is in this courtroom.
The courtroom fell into a dead silence. No one whispered. No one moved. Juror number 13 had just made the most damning accusation possible. But the question remained. Who was he talking about?
We need order in this courtroom. Mr. Mitchell, you will name the person responsible. Who took you?
Him.
And in that moment, the real culprit was unmasked. But for justice to prevail, this was only the beginning. Chaos erupts in the courtroom. The defendant and his attorney exchange glances. The jurors whisper in disbelief. The judge waits for silence, while Detective Marcus Hayes moves swiftly toward the accused, ready to make an arrest.
The truth is finally coming to light.
But what no one in that courtroom knew yet was that this was only the first step. Because sometimes, all it takes is one name to bring down an entire web of deception.
This court orders an immediate investigation into the attack on juror number 13. And effective immediately, the accused is placed under arrest. No one is above the law.
A hush fell over the room, quickly replaced by an uproar. Officers moved toward the accused. The jurors exchanged glances, processing what had just happened. At that moment, one thing became clear to everyone. Secrets don't stay buried forever. Juror number 13 had survived and returned, and his testimony had changed everything. The conspiracy had unraveled, and justice had finally been served. But for Evelyn Carter, this wasn't just an ending. It was the start of something new. Because now, she knew one undeniable truth. Fighting for justice could be the most dangerous battle of all.